Well, Carlos Gonzalez was in the middle of the storm last night. How about an 11-run storm in the 5th inning? He drove in 5 by himself, a new Colorado Rockies record. This drive went 462 feet. It tied the game at 6 by the time he came around again. This 2-run single, and Johnny Herrera would score on an error, made it 13-6. You get the picture. The Rockies were on their way. 18-9 final last night. Are you set for game 2? We are here at Coors Field. Rockies and Mets from 20th and Blake. Good evening, everybody. With my partner, George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Woo! That was a wild one.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun for the Rockies,
Absolutely.
Not so much fun for the other guys.
Well, you know, they had to show up. Somebody had to take the beating. May as well be those guys, not this one.
It was crazy last night. The Rockies with an 11-run 5th inning. You almost forget, George, they were behind by 4 runs when the inning started. Eric Young ignited the rout.
Well, there's no question. The young kid was on the mound. He gets a little ground ball hit back to him. All he had to do is flip it, 1 out. Then he ends up walking around, and oh, well, never mind. The gates just opened up, and 11 runs ended up on the board. Second most in Rock's history that they've been able to do that. Well, that's kind of neat to watch all that and watch all the home runs. And again, with Carlos Gonzalez, I guess, you know, everybody says, not a lot of home runs, not a lot of RBIs, and all of a sudden they start coming in big bunches, like 5 at a time.
And it's the 3rd time, I'm glad you mentioned that, 3rd time in his career he has driven in 6 in a game. And his career is not that long yet. He's just getting started. We're just getting started. When we come back, Jeremy Guthrie will have to miss a couple of starts. Guillermo Moscoso will take his place. More on that in a moment. On the left, and Guillermo Moscoso is on the right. He's been down in Colorado Springs. He's making this start tonight for Jeremy Guthrie. He was picked up in the offseason from the Oakland A's. He was part of that Seth Smith deal. You go back to last year, George, with Moscoso. He was terrific for the A's.
I really think he probably got shocked in spring training when he went 8-10, and he pitched pretty well for them. I think you mentioned earlier, Drew, the opposition hit 150 in September off of him. He had a good fastball. He did pitch in a big ballpark in Oakland. That has an effect sometimes on your numbers, but you look at him with Oakland and what he did, 21 starts, a very fine earned run average. He pitched 128 innings, mostly in the fourth and fifth spot in their rotation. And I think he came to spring training and a couple of bad outings, ran into another bad outing, and then all of a sudden a good outing, but yet he was went from being in the forefront of being that long guy fifth starter to not being talked about. And I think that probably affected what happened to him early in his outings down in AAA. And today wasn't an easy trip. He came in from Fresno. They're playing in Fresno right now, and then word happens late last night. You try to fly him in here, and it's kind of a whirlwind deal. And I think if he, and Jim Tracy said this in his press conference, these are the kind of games that you think, okay, had to rush him up here, hadn't been pitching well, and all of a sudden he gives you 8 shutout.
Could be. Again, last
happen.
year the league hit .220 against him. The record not pretty, 8-10. George pointed out the ERA was excellent. We have good news on Jeremy Guthrie. We'll pass along when we come back as well. The Rockies and Mets. Another 18 spot in the offing. We'll see. Come on back with us. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. From a Little League game to a Big League game. First pitch of the ball game from Guillermo Moscoso, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that's wide of the strike zone. To Kirk Neuenhuis at a Denver Christian. 28-year-old from Maracay in Venezuela is Moscoso. Talked about his work last year with Oakland. 2 previous years he was up and down with the Texas Ranger organization. He was pitched in the Tigers organization.
Signed in 2003, so the trip was quick.
This may be playable for Troy, or how about Johnny Herrera? Nice to have 2 shortstops on the left side of the infield.
Well, nice catch, battling the tarp and everything else down there early in the game. Had to range far for that baseball. Made a nice play on it. Well, Moscoso's numbers, you can see with AAA a high earned run average, and it was kind of a good bad type situation for him. He had a really good ball game, 5 innings, 2 runs at Reno. Then his next ball game, 7 earned runs in 2 innings. Then at 6 2/3, 1. And in the last start, he gave up 7 and 5 1/3. So it's gone, not a lot of consistency there, but also a guy that knows what he's doing on the mound. He's been around a while, so let's hope everything works out well. Came in that Seth Smith trade, as Drew mentioned earlier in the broadcast.
Tejada had a big night last night. Ruben, for the second time in his young career, produced 4 hits in a game. 22-year-old from Panama. He had a big night. Scott Hairston had a big night. Mets scored a season-high 9 runs on a season-high 17 hits last night, and they lost by 9.
There was no handshakes at the end of the game. How about that?
Terry Collins on the right. This ball is in the air to Michael Kadire.
Well, Dan O'Dowd said if they had traded for Moscoso in the offseason, said a lot of soft, high fly balls. We've seen a couple here early in the game.
Yeah, not a ground ball pitcher, a fly ball pitcher, which always scares you at Coors Field, but if they're not squared up, you're okay. Here's the starting lineup for Terry Collins. Daniel Murphy will hit third, then David Wright. Lucas Duda slides up to the 5 spot. Scott Hairston, he had the cycle yesterday. Ike Davis is in the lineup. Josh Tolle really swinging the bat well. And that's a broken bat floater. Laying out, trying to make the catch. And making the catch is Michael Kadire. What a great play that was.
Now, nobody appreciates it more than Moscoso. 6 pitches to get through that first inning in 2012 for Moscoso on a great catch by Kadire.
He got it. Wow, what a play. Marco Scutaro will lead it off. What about that catch from Michael Kadire? You know, off the bat, I didn't think there's a way in the world he's getting there.
It's all about getting breaks and reads, knowing hitters, and that's something he doesn't know here in the National League yet. What a great catch.
Fabulous catch. Dylan G is on the mound, and his first pitch is ball 1 on Marco Scutaro.
A pretty interesting guy with G too. 9 and 3 in his career out on the road. That's impressive. He struggled a little bit at Citi Field. In his first 15 starts, he goes 9 and 2, and he's going to get hammered first pitch by Scutaro. Stay hot.
And Marco had 4 hits last night, scored a career high 4 runs. And normally when Marco comes to the plate, it's a 5-6 pitch at bat. He fired at that second offering and ripped it to left. Here's more on Dylan G. He had a great start to his career, George. Unbeatable initially, but in his last 20 starts or so, the ERA is above 5.
Now he's had a difficult time keeping the ball down, getting a lot of outs. Went to University of Texas Arlington. Last season, 13 and 6 over 27 starts. 22nd round draft pick in 2007. You'd like to see that. 21st round draft pick.
And you know what?
2007. You'd like to see that. That's development.
Yeah, and George, we talked about it a lot last night. The Mets are largely a homegrown team. And they have a lot of guys that weren't #1 picks, guys who were drafted much later on that have reached the big leagues and are contributing.
You know what I like about it? Because they're forced to the situation because of what happened financially. And no reason to get into all that. But now all of a sudden they've got to look to that 15th through 25th pick, a senior sign, a guy that was a late sign, that maybe not a high profile guy, and hope that they're part of it and can make it.
And while we're on the subject of the pitcher, Dylan G. Happy birthday, Dylan. He's 26 today.
26 years old. And to go along with that little comment that Drew just made about the birthday, how about this one? I want to throw some stuff at you here, Goody. I've been doing a little work. Actually, I'm going to read Doug's work. Is that all right?
Hit and run, throw to second. He's going to go into center field. Marco Scutaro is going to go first to third. And Terry Collins has to be saying, are we going to do this again? 6 errors by the Mets last night, and they've just committed one here in the first. Nobody covered the bag. 2 for 15 in an attempt at trying to throw guys out on a stolen base, and you're absolutely right. Now, look, Tejada's making a move over there, but then it wasn't an aggressive move. And I know the throw wasn't that great, but you got to do everything in your powers to try to get over to the baseball to prevent it from getting into center field. Infield back, Johnny goes down swinging. So 1 out. Here comes the RBI machine, Carlos Gonzalez. Here's Jim Tracy's Southwest batting order tonight. Cargo hit 3rd, Troy Tulowitzki 4th, Todd Helton 5th, Michael Kadire next. The only change from last night, Willeen Rosario doing the catching for Ramon Hernandez. So Hernandez will go tomorrow to catch Jamie Moyer.
Continue on with this 28th birthday. How about this? Mark Clark that started and lost the game. That was the first Mets pitcher to start a game on his birthday. Do you remember that guy?
I do.
You do? And then how about Ron Darling did it twice, 85, 86. Dave Malecki, Wally Whitehurst, and Ray Burris all pitched on their birthdays for the New York Mets. Doug just threw that at me. I thought I'd get it in.
Good stuff. Cargo last night had an RBI ground out in the first inning. He takes inside 2-0. 3 for 6 overall last night. Here's the bullet single. That home run, 462 feet.
And imagine that, 462, and it doesn't get in the top 10 of longest home runs at Coors.
Here's the 2-0. Off the plate, 3-0. G was watching last night, I guess, George.
Probably. And very attentive to the fact that I'm not going to give him a pitch to hit.
Except if he glances in the on-deck circle, he's going to see Troy Tulowitzki.
And we'll tell you in a minute what he's done to the Mets.
Cargo loves to fire 3-0.
The opposition knew it. A knuckle curve, a changeup at 84.
And he will throw that in any count. He'll double up on it.
That's the difference in him being a guy that's going to maybe stay a little bit longer in AA and AAA. His ability to throw the off speed for strikes behind in counts. Hitters are just not geared for 3-0 changeups.
Ball 4, first and third, 1 out. And here comes Troy.
Let's take a look at what Troy Tulowitzki has done against the New York Mets. And it's been a lot. Terry Collins not liking the first and third situation right now. Over 8 games. Tulowitzki since 2011. 6 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a double. We're so excited to have first and third and Tulowitzki at the plate right now if you're a Met fan. Holy cow. You talk about throwing on a show. Done that.
Decent speed at third, good speed at first. And Troy swings and misses. It's 0-1. It's kind of a little cutter that G throws. Most of his stuff, George, you'd rate as average, but he throws strikes. He generally works ahead.
Velocity wise on the charts, it tells you average, but because of the movement he creates on his pitches, it becomes a little bit above average, like the hard sinker or that hard cutter you just saw at 87 miles an hour. He really got out and finished it. Not only did it have movement away from Troy, but movement down.
Cargo.
If he throws it, he's out.
Yeah, Cargo took off, and then G was able to step off.
I was trying to think along with Jim Tracy, and okay, is this a situation where on a 0-1 count, how about making a move? See, if he fires right there, he's probably got it. Ball gets hit on the ground, you get the run, you don't get the double play.
The pitch was left up. He went back to the cutter again. 0-2. Scudero singled, stole second, and went to third on a throwing error by Josh Tolley. The Mets were within one of their franchise record for miscues in a game. Team record 7. They made 6 last night. Cargo just walked. 0-2 ground ball toward the hole, and they'll get the force out. The run comes in. Good play by Tejada, flipping to Daniel Murphy. So the Rockies take a 1-0 lead. 11th RBI for Tulowitzki. Let's take a look at the Mets defensively tonight. Well, you hit for the cycle, you get another start. Scott Hairston is in left field. Kirk Neuenhuis is in center. Lucas Duda is in right. David Wright, Ruben Tejada left side. Daniel Murphy, Ike Davis on the right side, and Josh Tolley, who came into the ball game late last night, is behind the plate. He's their everyday catcher. Breaking ball's in there for a strike on Todd. Here's Tolley. He's improved defensively. His calling card is that he is a good hitter. Not a power hitter. He's a guy that sprays the ball from line to line.
And it's so difficult to find a guy that can do both. He's a good catch and throw guy. You know, a lot of guys, a lot of people like a Mike Piazza, who's obviously a longtime Met and Dodger, could really call a game, receive the ball, hit with power, and do all the things he could do, but he couldn't throw. Hard to find.
Well, we just celebrated a great one who retired earlier this week, Pudge Rodriguez. And we were talking last night about a guy who was terrific for the Expos and then ultimately for the New York Mets, who died way too young, Gary Carter. There goes Tulo, and the throw to second is in time. So Troy is cut down trying to swipe second base by Tolley. But the Rockies get a run with a little help again from the Mets defense. 1-0 as we go to the second. Guthrie, this was his scheduled start tonight. He had a bike mishap yesterday during the afternoon, a chain on his bike. He's an avid bike rider, and he keeps himself in extraordinary shape. And one of the reasons why is that he likes to ride. A chain broke on the bike. He went over the handlebars, landed on his shoulder awkwardly. They had an MRI. Everything was clean. The good news that I alluded to in the open is that Jeremy played catch today, George, and believes that he will make a start on May 7th here at the big league. So literally the day that he's eligible to come off, he'll be able to start for the Rockies. Anytime a starting pitcher, as you know better than anybody, George, gets hurt, it's always, well, then they got to build arm strength up. The fact that he was throwing today, outstanding. Now he's on the DL. That's a done deal. But it looks like he's not going to miss a ton of time.
Well, they were able to go back retroactive to his last start, so that's what brought it up to the 7th. But with health-wise, what you're talking about, absolutely. If he has the ability to loosen that joint up and get the strain intact, get things going the way they need to, he'll make that start in San Diego on Monday.
David Wright with a 1-1 count against Guillermo Moscoso. And that's a good looking breaking ball at the knees, 1-2. One of the interesting things, intriguing things about this matchup tonight, nobody save Scott Hairston has ever faced, and he only has one at bat, has ever faced Moscoso inside. And nobody in the Rockies lineup has ever faced G. Andres Torres has a couple of at bats, but he's on the disabled list for the Mets. So he's coming off soon. He's going to meet him in Houston. This ball's on the ground toward the hole, and Tulowitzki's not going to venture a throw. Wright runs well. So it'll be an infield hit for David Wright. And his average continues to soar at Coors Field. Came in at 363 all time at Coors Field. Defensively, the Rockies are lined in the following manner. Cargo, Dexter Fowler, Michael Kadire. Kadire already with a sparkling play. Johnny Herrera at third. Tulowitzki, Scudero up the middle. Helton at first. Willeen Rosario, the youngest member of the 25-man roster for the Rockies, at 23. Great play by Kadire to end the first inning. A diving catch to rob Daniel Murphy of a base hit. Lucas Duda at the plate. That's a strike on the outside corner. Home plate umpire is Lance Barrett. Paul Emmels at first, Scott Barry at second, and Gary Darling is at third. One ball and one strike on Duda. And Wright thought about moving up and then shut it down.
Well, I saw the reaction time, I think, of Rosario, Drew. He did block the ball, shot away, but he was very quick to his feet to get to the baseball. And the word's out, strong arm behind the plate. Make sure it gets far enough away that you can make it.
George, we were talking about Moscoso and the record being misleading and how effective he was last year. This ball is well hit right center field, and it is gone. Two-run home run, Lucas Duda. Well, there's nothing misleading about that swing. He hammered that, and it's 2-1 New York. Fourth home run for Duda.
Pick out the location of this pitch and see exactly where they wanted to try to put it, or did you miss a spot here? They want the ball down and away right out here on that outside corner. You can kind of see by the replay of it here, it is more of a center cut swing. Boy, really good load. Hands never move. Foot stays down, and all of a sudden the hands come through and allow that back leg leverage to drive the baseball.
Scott Hairston takes a strike. The number I was going to give you on Moscoso, I'm a big one on batting average against. It tells you how effective a guy is. And in his 21 career starts, the opposition has hit just .209 against Guillermo Moscoso. If we said .259, really you say that's solid.
Healthy number.
Yeah, .209. Oh, and 2 on Scott Hairston. And this ball's driven deep and foul. Well, last night was a night that the veteran Hairston will never forget. He had a base hit his first time up, and then he pulled a home run against Drew Pomeranz his second time up. That tied up the game. This ball he thought he may have hit out. Dexter made a leap for it. It ended up a triple. His very next at bat, a double over the head of Carlos Gonzalez. 10th cycle in New York Mets history. 5th cycle ever against the Rockies.
Who hit the first cycle for the Mets, Doug? I saw you over there bored. Thought I'd ask you. Jim Hickman?
Jim Hickman played some first base. Former Chicago Cub. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Moscoso strikes out Hairston. First out here in the second.
Jose Reyes the last. That was in 06. Eric Valent, is that the way you say
he was
his
at
name?
a UCLA.
04. Olerud 97. Can't imagine him getting a triple. Ochoa in 96. McReynolds 89.
Kevin McReynolds at Arkansas.
All he does is duck hunt now. Hernandez in 85.
He's next door.
Keith. Mike Phillips, pretty good looking player at one time. Never #1 pick, didn't live up to a whole lot of the potential. Teammate of mine was St. Louis. Tommy Agee at 70. And Hickman at 63.
Yeah, Tommy Agee could run, hit for some power. Tommy Agee was a heck of a player. Ike Davis, 1-1. I was talking to Terry Collins about Davis. Georgie played with his dad, Ron Davis. Ike is a big, powerful guy, but teams have found a hole and said until he adjusts and shows that he can go the other way, he's going to struggle. He tries to pull everything no matter where it is on the plate.
Kind of an aggressive. His dad was much like that as a pitcher. Very aggressive guy on the mound. Everything had to be hard, swing hard, good results. A lot of people may not know this about Ike Davis, but Ike Davis was a very, very accomplished left-handed pitcher coming out of high school and college at Arizona State. He could run the ball up into the low mid-90s. Had a very good cutter / slider to go with it. There's a lot of conversation about allowing him to do both, but he got off such a great start with the bat. They pushed the pitching part to the side.
2-2. Moscoso working at Davis. 2-run home run a moment ago by Lucas Duda. And it's 2-1 New York. Davis just 1 for his last 14 at the plate. He's one of those guys similar, at least in the hand action, to a good friend of yours, Dave Winfield, who dropped his hands down to his belt level, but he still got it back and loaded on time.
A lot of movement going on in there, and that's part of the problem. Guys starting hard to handle that fastball in. Rockies choose to go away. He walks. That's a good sign for Terry Collins.
That pitch just a smidgen up, so Davis works out of a 0-2 situation, a 1-2 situation. And with 1 out, he's at first. Josh Tolley at the plate. First walk for Moscoso. Join in the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Share your insights, comments, or questions on the ball game. Plus, learn how to win a $500 gas card. Tolley at the plate. Got a 10-game hitting streak. Just kind of slaps the ball around. Total he's reached in all 18 games he's played this year. It's the longest streak to start a season by a catcher in the Mets' 51-year history. On the corner, 0-2. Tulowitzki and Scudero. 2 in and 2 over, double play depth. Good news on Drew Pomerantz also, George. They expect him to make his start on Wednesday despite a little forearm stiffness that got him removed from the game after 4 innings last night.
Jim made the comment in his press conference. You know what? The kid comes off, tells me he felt a little something in the forearm. I'm going to err on caution. You just go on in the locker room. We'll find somebody else come in here and pitch the rest of this ball game.
So Pomerantz will go Wednesday. And again, Guthrie, who's on the DL, thinks he'll be able to make his start the day he's able to come off on May 7th. And now Moscoso misses on a changeup, and you have a full count.
1-2 walk, 0-2 now 3-2. Trust your stuff, make the pitch, and get out of the inning. Get in the dugout and swing the bats.
Davis not in motion. Nice play by Moscoso. Double play, caught that in the air.
Had it the whole way.
In the inning, a 2-run home run by Lucas Duda. And it's 2-1 New York. It's played by Moscoso.
Mets as Lucas Duda hits a home run. I want to take you back to last night and talk about hitting with the bases loaded. Yes, the sacks juiced, the grand slam that Ramon Hernandez hit in the 7th inning out here to right field. It was the 7th of his career in his 5,500th plate appearance. Just to put that in perspective, Andre Dawson, Roberto Clemente, Carl Yastrzemski, Mike Schmidt, they all hit 7 slams in their career. Jason Giambi's hit 14. Todd Helton has hit 5. Ramon Hernandez says he has the same approach when he's up with the bases loaded. Guys?
Well, it's worked for him, Mark, so just keep on keeping on. Todd Helton got a look at G, and then the inning ended on the Tulowitzki stolen base attempt. He was cut down by Tolley. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Helton. Helton, a .351 career hitter in 94 ball games against the Mets. Showed you that list last night. Jeter's #1 at .381. What a start Derek Jeter's off to. Three and 2. That list again. Great names on there. Rico Cardi, Tony Gwynn, (3-2) ball 4. Tuttle places bat down and protection on the leg. Jog down to first base. Leadoff man aboard for Michael Kadire. Who wants tacos, George?
Oh yeah. You know better than to ask me.
I know. Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Hope you got over there this afternoon between 4 and 6.
Be a nice little meal for the family on the way to the yard tonight.
Pitch to hit there for Kadire, and he found it straight back. Michael 1 for 3, couple walks last night. This is top foul past Richie Dower. Strike 3, curveball got him. Dyer was walking off even before Lance Barrett called him out. 1 out, and that'll bring up Rosario.
Really good, hard curveball. Velocity, well received to get the strike call.
Rosario takes a strike. Willian's locker is just a couple lockers down from Vinny Castilla. Vinny's in uniform for all the home games. Also go out on special assignment for Dan O'Dowd. See the various minor league affiliates. And 0-2. We were chatting the other day in the clubhouse. He looked at Willian. He said, "Baby bull." And I looked at Willian. He said, "Yeah, I like it." He's built like it.
Yes, he is. I mean, I watched this kid from 07 at Casper, Wyoming, transform into a man.
1-2.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him go to that curveball that he threw Kadire here.
Now the book early on Rosario is go soft.
They're going in. And that's got to be hard for a young hitter to know that he's had difficulty with that slider, and then all of a sudden he's looking at it and he's in this situation, a slider count 1 and 2 when you haven't hit one, and then try to react as quick as you can to that fastball to fight it off on the inner half. And he did a nice job of it right there. Sure likes hitting in this yard. 268 or 286 versus numbers under 200 on the road.
And that was held by Tolley, so another strikeout. That's 3 for G, and that'll bring up Dexter Fowler. Dexter, like just about everybody else in the Rockies lineup, had a big night. This is home run number 3, complete with the backflip. Ended up with 3 knocks and 5 trips.
Well, once again, one of the mottos of the Rocky organization has been and will be as long as Dan O'Dowd's in charge is show patience. Give guys an opportunity to come out of those slumps and give them the opportunities to win at the big league level. And paid off a little bit with Dexter Fowler. The average up now to 254 after last night.
1 ball, 1 strike. 7 of Dex's 15 hits have gone for extra bases. It's kind of reminiscent of what he did in the second half last year. The All-Star break on. The only guy who had more extra base hits in the National League, Ryan Braun. The thing about Dex with those long strides is that any single he can turn into a double real easily. This ball is hit center field. Nieuwenhuis makes the catch. Helton, who walked, is left at first base. The Mets, through 2 innings, have a 2-1 lead on the Duda home run. Root Sports is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. And by College Invest. Are you saving for college or just talking about it? We go to the top of the 3rd inning. The Rockies trailing 2-1 on a 2-run home run by Lucas Duda against Guillermo Moscoso, making his first start in a Rockies uniform. Came in the Seth Smith deal, along with Josh Outman, a left-handed pitcher who is on the mend. Came from Oakland. That pitch misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on the birthday boy, Dylan G. He's got the facial hair of a relief pitcher. Usually see that guy, for, working out of a bullpen. Not a guy who's hoping to work 6-7 innings. 2-1 from Moscoso, and this is in the air to Dexter Fowler in center field. Dex has got it. 1 out. And we're going to welcome an old friend, a guest from the Boys and Girls Clubs here in Metro Denver, the president and CEO, John Aragoni. John, how are you?
I'm well. It's so good to be here.
It's always good to have you because you always tell us a lot of good things that are in the works.
A lot of good things. The Boys and Girls Clubs have been growing, and we've got a great promotion going on, our beautiful dream home right now.
I understand this year, last couple of years you've given away a dream home, right?
Well, this is our 3rd year in a row, and this home is a 10,000 square foot home. It's just your style. It's got 5 bedrooms, 6 baths, an elevator, 2 swimming pools,
absolutely,
a wine cellar, a custom kitchen. It's got everything you need.
That's all?
That's it.
Oh, wow.
That's all I can do for you this year.
I'll tell you what, 10,000 square feet, that even fit the Frazier clan.
Well, you know, the best thing is
it's in Cherry Creek, right?
It's near Cherry Creek, and we're coming down to the end. The last day to buy tickets is May 18th.
May 18th?
May 18th, and the drawing will be on June 2nd. And someone's going to win some wonderful prizes.
So, and you have your choice. If you're the grand prize winner, you have the $3 million home.
Or $2 million in cash.
Or $2 million in cash.
But we're giving away 300 prizes on June 2nd, so the odds of winning are very low. And you can actually double your chances by buying 2 or more tickets. We have a separate drawing for multiple ticket purchasers. More cash, car, trips to Europe, Hawaii. It's just unbelievable what we've been able to assemble this year.
Good play by Johnny Herrera. You guys now, as you said, this is the 3rd year you've done it with great success. More and more prizes, more and more perks involved. Tell people right now, because that always piques folks' interest. How do you involve yourself if you want to buy tickets? Raffle tickets?
Go to Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver website, bgcmd.org, and then you can link right to the Dream Home Raffle. That's the easiest way to do it. All of our tickets basically are sold online. And it's just a great opportunity to win prizes, but more than anything, and you know this, given your support of the Boys and Girls Clubs at Root Sports, it's for the kids, and we raise a lot of money for the kids.
Well, we're involved with the Wilfley branch right here, about as the crow flies, just about a mile away from 20th and Blake, and have been for a long time. It's one of the things that's very, very important, as you know, to Root Sports and formerly Fox Sports. Tejada hits the ball in the air to right field. This is going to drop in front of Michael Kadire. So with 2 outs, Tejada's aboard for Daniel Murphy. How many kids do you impact just in the Denver metropolitan area?
We've got more than 12,000 registered members, and from that pool of kids, over 2,000 come every day to one of our Boys and Girls Clubs. And when I saw you last year, we had 9 locations. Now we have 14 clubs.
5 new clubs.
5 new clubs.
That's super.
Yep, growing like weed.
And something that I think many people know, but I think it's so profoundly important to let families out there that, the economy's been rough, as we all know, the last several years. To involve yourself at a Boys and Girls Clubs, it's really next to nothing financially.
It costs $2 a year, and we're helping kids do better in school. We're helping them learn how to lead healthy lifestyles, and most importantly, grow up to be young men and women of good character.
And that's a base hit through the left side. Daniel Murphy's aboard. 2 on. And David Wright coming up. Not the guy you want to see with traffic. Wright walked actually reached on an infield hit his first time up, came home on the Lucas Duda home run.
But your point about how the families need us now more than ever is so true. There's been thousands of men and women that have really struggled through the recession and are just trying to claw their way back. And if it weren't for the Boys and Girls Clubs, the kids wouldn't have anything else to do. And
it's changed from when I was growing up in the Mount Kisco Boys Club, Mount Kisco, New York. Mm-hmm. It was activity driven, sports driven, which is wonderful. And the Boys and Girls Club still has all of that, but now you find computers there, you find extracurricular help in the academic world.
Oh, that's the most important thing.
Down the right field line, this is going to land out of play. Todd's going to give it a look. 0-1 count on David Wright.
Well, what we've really learned, it's the mosaic of all of the programs that come together to help children do better, and that's why we offer so many different things, from sports and fitness to education, technology, the arts. It's just an amazing conglomeration of programming, and we're just very proud of it.
You ought to be. I know the Rockies have done a lot over the years with the Boys and Girls Clubs as well. Have a nice clinic every year that we've been fortunate enough to be involved with, also in North Denver.
We're very blessed to have the Rockies and Root Sports as partners. It's just been unbelievable.
Here's the 0-1, and the breaking ball's in there. 0-2 on David Wright. It's always a bonus for you to come out and tell us about what you're up to, and tell us about the raffle, because I know you're a big Rockies fan.
I am. Everyone's a big Rockies fan, and let's just have a repeat of last night. What do you think?
That would work very nicely. I think this large crowd would go home happy again.
Well, we're always happy, win or lose. We're fans.
2-strike count on Wright. Rosario sets up inside, and the fastball is down low. Back-to-back 2-out singles, Ruben Tejada and Daniel Murphy.
I think as we talk tonight, the main date is to keep in mind May 18th. That's the end of the time to buy tickets, and gosh, we just encourage everybody to do so.
So you have less than 3 weeks,
right?
And if you're thinking about it now, get online right now. How many raffle tickets sold last year?
Well, let's see, they're around 15,000 sold last year, and you know, we're all the way over 20,000 so far, and climbing fast already. And a lot of the sales come right at the very end. But we encourage people to buy, and we've had a lot of early bird drawings. But that's the past. The future is May 18th is the cutoff. The big drawing will be on June 2nd.
Here's the 1-2, and it's in tight 2-2.
Yeah, I was laughing with George. I said, you know, gosh, this house is big enough. You two split a ticket. You can both live there. And he wasn't really thrilled about the idea, I got to tell you.
Is that right? I'm glad you passed that on. I'll get him back.
All right.
Well, we've been family for a long time. 2-2. And it's 3-2. Now on David Wright. It was 0-2 a moment ago, and this has been a pattern in the early going for Moscoso. He's worked ahead of several hitters, but then has fallen behind. David Wright off to a terrific start. 361 average, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs coming in. Runners going, and a base hit to left. Tejada scores, Murphy to third, and David Wright to second. A run scoring double with 2 outs from David Wright, and it is 3-1 New York. 11th RBI of the young season for Wright. On a 3-2 count, he was out front a little bit on the breaking ball, but he was able to still get enough wood on it to drive it to left field. And with the runners going, Tejada scores easily, Murphy to third. Bob Apodaca out. Now, last night was one of those wild affairs, John, where you wondered how much is enough. The Mets set season highs last night, 9 runs, 17 hits, and they lose by 9.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure.
Go figure.
Exactly.
It's baseball. That's what happens. Yeah, in fact, with the support of you and the Rockies, we have a great baseball league for the Boys and Girls Clubs, part of our sports and fitness programming.
True. Are all 14 clubs in the metro area involved?
Yes.
Are there plans for new clubs? Because last year you told us about some of the new facilities that were going to open. Anything?
We are breaking ground later in September of this year for a new club in the old Holly Shopping Center area, 33rd and Holly. And,
terrific.
Yeah, that's a terrific. It's going to be a 30,000 square foot building and serving, oh gosh, another 1,600 kids.
Lucas Duda takes a strike. What is the average size of one of the clubs?
You know, usually we're building things in the $21,000 to $22,000 range. This one's going to be bigger because it will have community rooms for other use, and it's the trend these days.
And that's a strike as well. Well, this hasn't been the problem, getting ahead 0-2. It's been finishing hitters for Moscoso. He's given up 3 runs on 5 hits. They're 2 in scoring position. He's got to get Lucas Duda here. Duda hit one into the Rockies bullpen his last time up with David Wright on base. Just off the plate. The odds of winning a prize, more than 300 prizes again in the Boys and Girls Club raffle.
Yeah, it's
one
now.
One in what, 120?
120. Just on June 2nd, we're giving away over 300 prizes. It's remarkable.
And this one is caught. Dexter Fowler saves 2 runs. We've seen 2 terrific plays in the outfield by the Rockies tonight. One by Kadire, and that one by Fowler, saving 2 runs. And on that note, John Aragoni, we wish you all the best. We'll keep plugging the Boys and Girls Club raffle. We'll try to get, you're up to 20,000. We'll try to get another 20,000.
Let's do it tonight. All right.
That would be awesome. It's always good to see you.
Thank you, Drew.
Thanks very much.
Take care.
President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver. Get involved in that raffle.
Fruit.
Guillermo Moscoso will lead off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Rockies trailing 3-1. They've been out hit 5-1. And a pitch by Dylan G is in there, so it's 1-1. G came into the ball game a 1-2 record, 5.21 ERA. Moscoso's always been an American League guy, so he hasn't done a whole lot of this.
Yeah, it looks like he has. A little bat waggle, didn't bail out, to a little hack at it, but he got the punch out. But I mean, at least he looked good doing it.
4 strikeouts, first time through the lineup for G, who's normally not a big punch out guy. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And again, a big thanks to John Aragoni, who came by, President and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver. That Dream House raffle, the $2 million raffle. That is a great cause. 14 area Boys and Girls Clubs, another one in the works. More than 300 prizes will be given away coming up, so make sure you get yourself involved. Buy at least 1 ticket for that fundraiser to benefit Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver. Go to their website. He said, by the way, he ratted you out, George. He said that a 10,000 square foot home would be big enough. You said would be big enough. No,
that's not what I said. He said you and Drew could both move in there together.
Right.
And I said, all my kids are raised. I'm not raising his. I got grandkids as old as Drew's kids. So, but it might work out. I'll take the basement.
And you'll be happy, right?
Oh, I'd be thrilled. And a riding lawnmower and a weed eater, I'm in.
You're in?
Yeah, I'm all in.
Marco Scudero, sharp single in the 1st inning, stole a base, reached 3rd on an error by Tolley, came home on a RBI ground out by Tulowitzki. G with 4 strikeouts. George, his career high is 8.
That happened back in 11. May 30th against Pittsburgh. This year his high is 6 against Washington. That happened on April 10th.
This is top to David Wright.
So much gets talked about David Wright's offense, but his defense, a lot of comparisons. Hey, I tell you what, He's getting after him right now. That ball was being thrown around the infield, and David Wright barked out, "Let's get after it. Let's go." I know the captain or a veteran guy in the infield should do.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Johnny Herrera takes a breaking ball. Terry Collins told me before the ball game, George, last year in particular, he said it was a very easy team to manage. This ball is to second and on the move. Nice play made by Daniel Murphy. He said because you had two all-stars on the left side and Jose Reyes and David Wright, and a $15-16 million guy in left field, Jason Bay, and they were our hardest workers. Everybody follows suit.
The lead for the Mets. Let's get you some AT&T trivia from here in the upper deck. By the way, a good walk-up crowd here at Coors Field today. Back to 1969. Tom Seaver, 25 wins for the Amazons. The Mets won the World Series. There's been one pitcher that has won 25 or more games since 1969 in the National League. Name that pitcher. We'll get you the answer in the bottom of the inning. Drew, George?
All right, Mark, thank you. Scott Hairston will lead things off. Guillermo Moscoso needs quick inning. He had a good start, a 1-2-3 first. Since then, a two-run home run in the second from Lucas Duda, and with 2 outs, 3 straight hits, plated another run for the Mets. They're up 3-1. And a few more cycles in Major League Baseball than no-hitters. We showed you that last night. Scott Hairston with the cycle yesterday. And this has popped up. Todd Helton territory. He's going to give way to Marco Scutaro, who makes the catch. And they've become familiar at Coors Field the last few years. Look at this, George. 4 years in a row now. His cycle's been produced here.
A couple of Rockies have been able to do it. Troy Tulowitzki, Carlos Gonzalez, Pablo Sandoval, and then last night, Scott Hairston.
The most memorable for me off the top of my head was Cargos, because he needed a home run in his last at bat, and it was a walk-off home run he hit into the third deck.
That was a monster.
One out, Ike Davis at the plate. Ike Davis behind in the count, worked out a walk against Moscoso last inning, or 2 innings ago, I should say. One and one. So the Mets last night allowed 18 runs and committed 6 errors in the process. In the last 70 years, that's happened only one other time, where a team allowed 18 runs and contributed to the mess with a half dozen errors. Team you used to watch, George, a little bit.
The
Royals in 1983. This is
a powerful they caught.
Yeah, Dexter Fowler's now made a couple of really fine plays. That's about 420 feet from home plate where Ike Davis drove the baseball. Dexter ran it down.
Never took his eyes off the baseball, extended those strides in a position, and then almost overran the baseball. Watch him reach back over behind his head to make this catch.
He is the ideal center fielder for Coors Field. Josh Tolley. Lined one back to the mound that Moscoso stabbed below his knees and turned into a double play when he flipped to first and doubled off Davis. Here's the 1-0 with 2 outs.
Hey, don't forget about getting your tickets for the Dodgers series this Monday through Wednesday. The Coca-Cola value packs, they're available for all 3 of these ball games. So you can buy them for $59, $79, depending on who you want to sit in the ballpark. But always a great value to see Rockies baseball.
2-1. You know who Tolley reminds me of? A left-handed version of Freddie Sanchez. Well, he holds the bat.
A lot of movement, a lot of nervous energy around the plate. Freddie's like that.
On the corner, 3-2.
So, Doug, what did your newfound hero Bryce Harper do in his first game tonight?
He hasn't started playing yet.
They've started playing. He just hasn't hit yet.
They're just underway. Dodger Stadium. Bryce Harper's in left field. 3-2 on Tolley.
Another star, minor league star, got brought to the big leagues too, and Abreu released by the Angels. Trout was brought up, Texas League Player of the Year a year ago. A really good player.
He went, and they'll get the out at first base. So a good inning for Moscoso. 1-2-3 in the 4th. 3-1 New York. Cargo leads. Trailing 3-1 against Dylan G. Rockies winners 18-9 last night. Cargo drove in 6. So one of his hometown newspapers in Caracas The leader, basically, loosely translated, Cargo is a beast. Cargo is a demon. Cargo is a beast. Yes, he is. 6 ribby game, 5 in 1 inning. And that is going to be a base hit.
Great play by Wright, though, playing deep, came charged, and that was a nice play.
Would you say, George, that of the times that he has attempted to bunt for a hit, he is successful about 80% of the time? He's really good at it.
Well, because there's so many, they're playing so deep anyway, and there's a shift on for him. If he just gets it up the third base line, they're not going to throw him out. So the Rockies need base runners, down 3-1 in a ball game. Yep, one swing might have tied it up, or not tied it up, but put it within 1. But you could like the idea of Gonzalez being able to get on base in front of Tulowitzki and Helton, who swung a hot bat.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that play from a strategy standpoint. If you're home saying, yeah, why didn't he take 3 hacks? He's paid to hit the ball over the wall. He's paid right now to help the Rockies win a baseball game. And David Wright, where he was playing, if he can execute the bunt, which he does exceptionally well, he's on, and now you're tying runs at the plate. Tulowitzki, and as George said, Helton to follow, then Kadire.
I mean, the only time you have a problem with a play like that, 9th inning, down 1 run. I want you to swing the bat.
Sure. Tulo's been in a ditch both at bats, 0-2. Had an RBI ground out in the first inning to produce the Rockies' only run. Cargo takes off. This is up the middle on through base hit. Gonzalez will cut the bag at second and go to third. And the Rockies are alive and well here in the 4th inning. 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. Helton coming up. I thought, George, for a moment that was going to work against Troy with Cargo in motion. Middle infielders breaking up the middle. That's where the ball was hit, but he shot it through.
Yes, he did. Shot it right out of the reach. You can see the second baseman Murphy going to cover. When Gonzalez saw the ball to that left side, there was no reason for hesitation. He just hit the bag and headed on to third base.
Helton at the plate. He walked his first time. It was walk number 1,263 for Helton. Tied for 46th all time with Kenny Singleton. Kenny, a tremendous player, now broadcaster, longtime broadcaster.
New York Yankees.
Todd pulls it, fair ball down the right field line. Cargo walks home. Tulowitzki looked behind for a second and will stop at third. And Todd into second with yet another double.
Not a good situation if you're Guy, the pitcher of the New York Mets. 2nd and 3rd now, nobody out. Helton goes out and gets his fastball right on the back leg, and then the drive. When the foot hits, the hand starts. And great results on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. You get a good look at Helton swinging it, and this ball right past a diving Ike Davis at first base and right over the corner of that first base bag.
That was his 560th double of his career, now tied for 22nd all time with Eddie Murray and Jeff Kent. Todd, George, has more doubles this year than singles. He has 6 doubles, a triple, and 3 homers.
Todd
he has 5 singles. Yeah.
Don't forget the stolen base, as I was reminded today in the locker room. Grace, how you like the wheels? Look good. I think I might be able to get me 3 bags this year. Just teasing with Todd. Had that triple last night when the ball got down into the corner.
1-1 on Kadire, 2 in scoring position. And that's on the outer edge, so it's 1-2.
Cutter 87 got him in his last at bat, a strikeout on a ball down and away on the outside corner. Perfect pitcher's pitch for a call third strike. Smart hitter. Yeah. Smart hitter, though. Let's see if they go back to that again.
This is a great piece of hitting, and this is going to get on through. Helton will stop at third. Tulowitzki has scored to tie the game. What a great job by Michael Kadire. His whole philosophy there, George, I know I have to get into play. The infield's back, and I'm going to tie up the game, and it found a hole.
Yeah, absolutely it did. All he did was just throw his hands at the baseball. This is not an aggressive swing by Kadire at all.
That's a veteran swing.
When things are going right, this is what you get out of it. Going wrong, it's a tap back to the pitcher. I mean, look at him. His feet are quiet. It's all an upper body swing. He just threw his hands at the ball, but the head never left, and he just shoots it through the right side of the infield. Tie ball game. Both teams with 5 hits in the game.
Willeen Rosario at the plate. 4 straight hits for the Rockies in the 4th. And what Colorado's tied it.
You wanted professional at bats from Kadire. How about 9 for 22 and a 409 average with runners in scoring position? You gotta love that.
Cargo, George, taking what the defense allowed, started it. Troy behind in the count. Good AB. Todd got a pitch he could turn on. And now that at bat by Kadire.
From really
this ball hard at third, and they're going to come home with it. Todd is in a pickle. And he's going to be tagged out. So David Wright gets the out 5-2. 1 out. And 2 on for Dexter Fowler.
See what Todd does here. Pretty good lead. Little bit of a late jump here. Looks back over his shoulder. Seeing the play coming to the plate. All he could do then is just getting a rundown. He's thinking about hoping maybe he gets to advance some runners, but no way to do that. The Mets executed that perfectly. Running him back to the bag he came from with that big double. Made a difference in this ball game already by help.
Fowler hit a fly ball to center field. Outfield very shallow in center and left. Kirk Neuenhuis is as shallow as I've seen a center fielder, maybe for a position player this year.
Left field much the same. Everybody's kind of pulled in left and center. Right's playing deep. Hard line drive base hit to left into center. They're going to try to have that opportunity to throw out Kadire at the plate.
Out of play. 1-2 on Fowler.
Tulsa Drillers on top right now, 3-0. Cabrera's at it again. 6 innings, 1 hit, no walks and 5 strikeouts. The Drillers lead that ball game 3-0.
So basically his last 15 innings, he's given up 2 hits.
Well, there was another game in between there where he gave up 3 runs in between the perfect game. So yeah, but the 2 out of the 3 been near perfect.
And this is an easy play for Wright. And now Moscoso will come up with 2 outs. Kadire still at second. Rosario at first. 2 runs in here in the 4th for the Rockies to tie it at 3.
The hitting hero in that ball game so far, Kent Mathis, who had struggled to a 206 Clint, but he's had a couple of home runs in the ball game. Follow the Rockies on your phone with the MLB.com NYN.com @Bat12 app featuring pitch tracking and highlights and a whole lot more. ColoradoRockies.com to find out more information.
One and one on Moscoso. Got total. Might have got him on the follow through. He flies that top hand, George. Guys that do that, that bat sometimes comes around a little further toward the catcher.
Well, you just don't anticipate that a lot of times from a pitcher. You know, the other guys get a reputation. Remember Brad Hopp, sometimes they have big long finish. You get a reputation of that, catchers are aware of it. Moscoso's got 5 at bats. You're not really, that's not part of the scouting report.
Well, we're talking about the follow through, but the replay indicates, George, he did not get hit in the wrist. We'll leave it at that. Not show you again because it's painful for some of us to see that kind of video.
Okay. That's why I didn't watch. I let you do all the explaining.
Yeah, well, we're blaming Guillermo for the follow through, and that had nothing to do with it.
Sounded good, though.
One and two the count. 2-2. Battling. He's going to take at least 6 out of G's arsenal.
Is he another
tonight.
one of those former shortstops turned pitcher?
Who knows?
You know, we ought to look that up sometime because I tell you what, the swing's not bad. Stance, everything about it.
Yeah, he looks like he's comfortable at the plate. Now it's 3-2. Hey, George, when John Aragoni was on and you stepped aside for a second, is this not the facial hair of a guy that comes out of the bullpen, not normally a starting pitcher, right?
Got a little growth hanging off the end of his chin
looks
there.
like a closer. Looks like he fell off the ZZ Top.
He'd fall right in with that
bus.
St. Louis crew. All those guys got that.
Runners will be moving 3-2, and it's fouled off. Next pitch will be the 71st here in the 4th inning. Both teams need some length tonight out of their starters after last night. And a base hit to right field. Kadir will score. Going first to third is Rosario. Guillermo Moscoso, what an AB.
Has not ever had a base hit at the big league level. He'd had 2 at-bats in his career with no hits and a couple of strikeouts prior to this base hit.
So he's going to get the baseball for his first hit and his first ribby. Picked a nice time for it.
Get it all out of the way. Fouled off number of pitches, and the one outfielder that was playing extremely deep right field. Kind of tough to explain that with a right-handed hitting pitcher up. They don't normally pull the baseball.
Marco Scutero, the 8th man to come up here in the 4th inning. 1 for 2. Rosario at third, Moscoso at first. Marco Scudero has occasional pop. And again, Scott Hairston in left field is really shallow, as is Neuenhuis in center. And you know what? That may be a philosophical thing. The Mets say we're going to try to take away the bloop. There are teams that come into Coors Field and feel like the balls in front hurt more than the balls over your head.
A lot of different managers felt that way. They'll show, bring in the outfield, play them a little bit shorter distance. A lot of times they feel like the ball over their head at that distance is going to be out of the ballpark. I disagree, because I think you've got to be able to really cover the gap area, and if you're shallow, you're just giving a bigger gap away.
Scudero's career high in home runs, 12 with Toronto in 09. He hit 11 with Boston 2 years ago, 7 last year in less than 400 at bats. So yeah, he's been in double digits a couple of times. Not a big guy, but he'll surprise you. 1-2. And he's gone. In the inning, though, the Rockies come up with 3 runs to erase a 3-1 deficit. They'll go to the field with a 4-3 lead. Cargo got it started. Tula contributed, helped the double. Michael Kadire a base hit, and then Moscoso. Energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Last inning for Guillermo Moscoso. He got Hairston to pop to second. Ike Davis on a drive to deep center field. Nice running catch by Dexter Fowler, and then the strikeout of Josh Tolley. Second 1-2-3 inning for Moscoso. He gave up 2 runs in the second on a 2-run home run by Lucas Duda. Gave up a run with 2 outs in the third. It'll be G leading off, and then the top of the order for the Mets, with the Rockies ahead 4-3. Rockies 6-4 now at Coors Field. 2012, they've won 3 straight at home.
Well, they trailed in 6 of the 10 wins that they have, and they trailed in this ball game. It ends up on the winning side.
And G takes a strike. Native of Illinois. Inside, 1-1. Actually, you know what? Let me correct that. I'm looking at Tolley's bio. He's from Texas, G is.
At the University of Texas, Arlington. I mentioned that 21st round draft pick at 07.
His first ball game, maybe, huh?
By the way, Harper grounded out to the pitcher in his first at bat, Chad Billingsley. 2 high-priced draft picks going for the Nationals tonight, with Harper in left field and Strasburg on the hill. So what is it, Doug? About $30 million tied up those two guys?
At least. G went around. One out, third strikeout for Moscoso. And let's see what Mark Stout's up to. Mark?
You know what? We need to answer our AT&T trivia question. Tom Seaver, 25 wins for the Mets in 1969, the world champions. The only pitcher to win that many games or more since then was Steve Carlton in 1972. He won 27 for the Phillies, who won 59 that year. So it's almost 40 years now that somebody has won 25 or more games. George, summer of 72, what were you doing?
You don't want to know.
You were getting drafted out of high school.
You don't want to know. Yes, I was. I was getting drafted out of the Hillcrest High School, the Hornets in Springfield, Missouri.
That's still a very good program. A great football player came out of there, wide receiver.
#1 guy.
Going to Missouri, right?
Yeah, signed to go to Missouri. Everybody thought he might end up in Arkansas.
0-1 on Neuenheis. 0 for 2 in this ball game. He got a base hit in his return to Coors Field. Last time he was here, he's a fan.
Really nice article in today in the Denver Post on him and a lot of his friends, coaches. Van Kooten, his pitching coach in high school, and he was a very good pitcher in high school. As a matter of fact, when he went to Azusa Pacific, they talked about him pitching and swinging the bat. And he swung the bat so well, and he won the Alaskan Summer Player of the Year award there. That's really what propelled him in front of everybody, because Azusa Pacific and NAIA school. When he went up to Alaska and won that award, everybody's like, whoa, who's this guy? And then third-round draft pick by the Mets.
Yeah, that's a really good league, as you well know, George. That
Alaskan League, Cape, those two places, and now the Northwood League up in Minnesota has become a prominent league for a lot of kids that have freshmen going into that sophomore year of college.
Let's take a look at some guys from Colorado high schools in the big leagues right now. #1 is Roy Halladay out of Arvada West. Brad Lidge now working late in ball games for the Nationals. Darnell McDonald went deep yesterday. Good to see that. Former #1 pick Brandon McCarthy out of Cheyenne Mountain. Chase Headley's had a real good start for the Padres out of Fountain Fort Carson. Melanson just got sent down. He's been struggling in the early going. He's with the Astros last year. Strike 3 on Neuenheis. Daniel Schlereth, watched him grow up. He's with the Tigers now. Well, #1 formerly of Arizona. Will Omen's been around for a long time, George, out of Ponderosa. Yep. And Luke Hoshaver, who was #1 overall.
Kansas City, one of those #1 draft picks, come up and has pitched well, particularly about the last year and a half. Hoshaver's really pitched well.
Ruben Tejada with 2 outs. 6 in a row retired by Moscoso.
Who's the big right-hander that came over from Houston that pitched for us?
Scott Ellerton.
He's doing pretty well in AAA, I think. I'm going to have Dougie look his numbers up with Phillies in Lehigh. Pitched real well in spring training after taking a couple of years off.
Line drive, base hit for Tejada.
Kind of how things got started back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. I want a repeat of that.
He's got 6 hits in his last 2 ball games.
Well, he was struggling coming into this thing. Tejada, when he started this series off, was hitting .239. He sits right now at .289. Where'd he go? I know he's over there somewhere. I saw him earlier. Nope, not over there. Look the other way. Upper deck. Ah, never mind. Ellerton's 1-1 with a .412 ERA in 4 starts right now, trying to make a comeback to the big league level. One added note about Brad Lidge: he was put on the DL yesterday. Had been closing games for the Nationals. So a little arm flare up again. Give it a little time off.
Daniel Murphy robbed of a base hit his first time up. Sliding catch by Michael Kadire, and then he had a base hit in the third inning. One ball, one strike. Moscoso working on the inner half. That's a base hit to center field. This now is familiar. Third inning, 2 outs, base hit Tejada, base hit Murphy, and then Wright had an RBI double.
Well, just stayed on this pitch pretty good. It's out over the plate and elevated. I think that's the one thing that allowed Murphy to get to the pitch. Didn't try to do a lot with it. Just took it right back up the middle base hit. There was thoughts of Tejada, but Dexter with a nice play in center to get the ball back in. Big numbers for David Wright so far on the season.
Single and a double tonight. And Moscoso starts now with a curveball for a strike. Terry Collins singing the praises of David Wright before the ball game. Just an ideal player in any city, but he's able to handle New York so well. He's well mannered, extremely likable, not to mention he's a phenomenal talent. 1-1. He hit the big leagues when he was 20. He and Reyes came up at basically the same time, both at 20. Is that
pretty good left side, huh?
Yeah. In his career, a .301 lifetime hitter. He's now the all-time RBI leader in the history of the Metropolitans. Will's been on 200 home runs. He made that home ballpark, City Field, a little bit more manageable for David Wright. Moved in the fences.
It needed to be.
Make a pitch. Just missed at 92 off the edge. Ford strike zone said it may have caught some of the outside corner. 2-1.
Well, I only think height's the only thing that probably kept it from. Yeah, that ball is off. And from that overhead shot, you can see it is off the plate. A good call by Barnett, the home plate umpire.
Three and one. Boy, you go to a game like this, George. You knew this when you were coming out of the bullpen. There's always at least one guy. Maybe Texas's lineup, there's more than one.
Yeah, there's 7 in that.
Yeah. But there's one guy in the Mets lineup you don't want to let beat you, and he's at the plate right now.
Absolutely. 440 on the road this year. And that overall number 381, but 440 on the road. And that's before getting 2 hits today, so it's even higher. He's 13 for 27.
Here's all-time home run leaders in the history of the Mets. Darryl Strawberry, #1 at 252. Piazza hit 220. Hojo, who was briefly a Rocky, hit 192. Then David Wright. King Kong, David Kingman. Dave Kingman hit 154. Most of those were towering home runs on the pull side.
Yes,
he was
they were.
A strong man. 6'6" Dave Kingman.
Hope he's still living on his boat.
San Francisco. 3-2. Runners will be moving. This is where he got his double last time up. And that's a line drive base hit to right. Kadire up with a baseball. And this ball game is tied. David Wright with an RBI single to right. He's 3 for 3, and it is 4-4. And once again, all the damage with 2 outs, beginning with a Tejada single.
3rd inning, same thing. 5th inning, here we go again. 2 outs, base hit, and then Wright takes a fastball away from him. Doesn't try to do a lot with it. The line shot right out to Kadire, but with the 3-2 count and runners moving makes it a little more difficult for the have to play at the plate. Helton cut that off, thinking about going right back after Wright. He got back very quickly.
So Lucas Duda's up. Duda, a 2-run home run, then he was robbed of a 2-run single on a sweet catch by Dexter Fowler. Don't forget that play.
14 for 28, 500, even number for David Wright. Out on the road now.
Wright takes off and no throw.
Rosario didn't get a grip on it.
First stolen base for David Wright this year.
Yeah, and Rosario, it's kind of unfortunate for him. I mean, it could even be higher as far as percentage of throwing guys out. Remember the 3 stolen bases Arizona 4 had on Pomeranz that day for not being really quick to the plate. Here, just didn't get a good grip on the baseball. Tulowitzki had the coverage to throw out Wright. Wright had been unsuccessful 3 straight times. Tough pitch too, down low, had to grip the baseball, check the runner at 3rd. It just didn't have a good grip.
Two, backdoor curveball.
You know, I thought it was interesting, Drew. I wanted Doug to look up the all-time doubles list for the New York Mets. Only because of the home runs not there with Wright. You look at all the RBI. Wright, the all-time doubles leader at 284, beyond Kranepool, who was at 225.
It's a slew of doubles before your 30th birthday. I've seen a consistent pattern tonight, George. Just looking at Moscoso's stuff. We saw him down in March in spring training. This is different. This is real. This is
2 decks.
The completely different baseball now. It's like he can get you to 2 strikes. Finishing you has been an issue.
Absolutely. Making that pitch to get the ground ball out, the fly ball out, a strikeout. Trusting your stuff in that 2-strike count.
And this is back up the middle. It's got eyes, base hit, and it's going to drive it too. And the Mets have a 6-4 lead. All of this with 2 outs. This is a part of the lineup that has just killed Moscoso. Tejada's 2 for 3. Murphy's 2 for 3. David Wright's 3 for 3. Lucas Duda is 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs.
Still nobody going in the Rockies bullpen either.
Again, last night, George, it's not. Rockies scored 18, but they gave up 9, and their starting pitcher could only go 4.
Exactly. He only gave up 2 in there, and the bullpen came in and let some things down then with Ismael Rogers. Here's the 2 runs crossing the plate to make this a 6-4 Met lead. Last night, you know, Drew, you talked about earlier about the bullpens being taxed yesterday in that ball game. The Mets bullpen threw 90 pitches total between them. The Rockies 111. There's Matt Reynolds. Once again, he picked up the win in last night's ball game to go to 3-0 on the season.
Well, this is going to be a night where Edgemar Escalona is going to have to work and may have to pick up more than an inning. See how it plays out. It's turning into a tennis match, back and forth affair. And if you look tonight, Moscoso gets ahead of most of the hitters. But the Mets stay patient. They get back in counts. Hairston's behind 0-2. And they've had some big hits. Four straight hits here in the 5th inning. Just the baseball guys took care of Duda. He got robbed of a 2-run single in the 3rd, and he just had a seeing eye 2-run single here in the 5th. blocked by Rosario.
By the way, Cabrera, 7 innings, 2 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. They lead the ball game 3-0. He's done for the night. Mike Marbury's now in the ball game in the 8th inning. The Tulsa club off to a great start. At 15-6, they're hoping to win their 16th game tonight. They got a 5-game lead in the North Division right now. And one guy trying to get these fans woke up, get them going, getting the out.
One and two on Hairston. Swung on and missed. Moscoso frustrated as he walks off. He got 2 quick outs in the inning on strikeouts. And then 4 straight hits, produced 3 runs. Mets 6, Rockies 4. For a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 to a 2012 World Series game and download your favorite team schedule. Presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. Johnny Herrera will lead things off. He's batting second again tonight for Jim Tracy. Cargo and Tulo to follow. Rockies trailing by 2 runs, 6-4. Rockies took a 1-0 lead after 1, trailed 2-1 after 2, 3-1 after 3, scored 3 in the bottom of the 4th to take a brief 4-3 lead. Now the Mets countered with 3 with 2 outs in the 5th. 6 runs, 9 hits, and an error for the Mets. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Rockies, no errors. And Johnny pulls it down the line, and a nice pickup at first by Ike Davis. It's a good play by Davis. Otherwise, it's down the line. It's at least 2.
Nice play. Davis with the backhand and an easy flip to G, who covered ahead of Johnny Herrera.
Carlos Gonzalez, a walk and a bunt single last inning, and he would come around to score. On a double by Helton. That pitch is in, ball 1. Cargo coming in the ball game last night. In his career, it hit just 185 against the Mets. He kind of turned that around last night. Pulled the string.
Well, I think with Matt Reynolds continuing to throw down in the bullpen, it's probably that night time of the Then turn the lights out on Moscoso as he visits with Chassin in the dugout.
Talking about the hitting been good. Cargo big bouncer to Davis, 2 outs. Let's take a look at tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch, fast speed, a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. G91, Moscoso 93. Tulowitzki at the plate. Troy is 1 for 2. Drove in a run with fielder's choice ground out in the first. Singled in the fourth and scored. You know, since that 2-error ball game on April 17th, Troy's hit 7 of his last 8 ball games. Been flawless in the field. Couple home runs. Hitting .333 during that span. Cargo, watch his feet. Ooh, rolled his ankle a little bit. One, and that's a base hit as Hairston dove and was able to keep it in front of him. And again, the Mets' philosophy clearly, George, is if they hit it over the outfielder's head, that's okay. They're trying to take away the hits in front, because Hairston, for a big power hitter, is playing about 275 feet away.
Exactly. And you know, the other thing I'm thinking about this, last night I don't think they played this shallow. Maybe is that a change they made after last night's ball game? Maybe coming in a little bit closer to try to cut off just what happened here.
Hilton a walk in an RBI double, 560th double of his career.
Well, the Mets did it with 2 out. Why not the Rockies?
And I'm looking at Daniel Murphy at second base. He's 15 feet out into right field. I haven't seen that deployment against Helt. Your shortstop still on the left side, Tejada.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, but they're pitching him away. Todd's one of the best at taking it to the opposite field. You know what? Let's talk about it. 6-4 lead. We're in the 5th. I got 2 outs and an 0-1 count. Let's get on the same page here together. A lot of catchers, you see that little poke in the chest there. A lot of that's building confidence. All right, you want to go with it? Let's go. Come on. We can get this thing done right here. Let's get this 3rd out and get in the dugout.
This is in the air to left field. Hairston has got it. So the Rockies get a base hit. Tulowitzki left on board. We'll go to the 6th inning. It's 6-4 New York. Guillermo Moscoso gave up 6 runs on 9 hits in 5 innings, and now Matt Reynolds will take over. Matt worked last night. In fact, he got the win in last night's game. 7 consecutive scoreless outings for Reynolds.
Well, you mentioned Ike Davis's struggles. He's going to be the first batter to face Mr. Reynolds, and left-handers have not hit Matt Reynolds well this year at all. Well, guess what? Davis has struggled against left-handers this year as well. He's hit 130, but just 133 against right-handers. Left-handers against Reynolds this year, 182. Big improvement over a year ago.
One strike count on Ike Davis, and a ground ball toward the middle, and Scudero was trying to flip it to Tulowitzki and have him throw it to first. An infield hit for Davis.
I don't think Tulowitzki was anticipating that flip. Not sure he would. Let's see, go after this baseball, and they say, Tulo, you coming to the middle? Oops. The flip was a little short anyway. But that really, realistically, the only play they're going to have. Davis runs well for a big first baseman.
10 hits for the Mets. They had 17 last night. Tolle is 0 for 2. Tolle had an on-base percentage of .466 coming in. A 10-game hitting streak. Where's that? Just missed. 1-1. Did you see his reaction? Tolle thought, man, that was my pitch.
Checking a minor league score at the time. 3-2 now. In Tulsa. AAA ball club. Torres, who's pitched well there, is on the mound tonight. He took Moscoso's place. They're at Fresno tonight.
One and 2 on Josh Tolle. Infield hit for Ike Davis. 6-4 New York. Tolle got another pitch to hit, fouled it back.
But a little bit on his heels with the swing. I mean, it was an up. The pitch was up, but he was back on his heels, so it's going to be a dead pull swing with some power if it's left up in there too close.
Speaking of minor league affiliates, you know another guy swinging the bat well for the Rockies in AAA, DJ LeMahieu, came in the Ian Stewart trade. He's hitting .310.
Yeah, there's 3 guys there. This shot to left field. Gonzalez will get it. 3 guys that really swung the bat well. McBride, who came in a trade for Ubaldo Jimenez, it was a catcher, hurt his shoulder, went to the outfield, is back catching again. And Pacheco has swung the bat very, very well since being sent back down to AAA.
And McBride, George, in 81 at bats, is hitting .407. Pacheco still at .450. Dylan G, fly ball center field and a strikeout. And Alex White, George, has a .270 ERA in 4 starts.
He's pitched well there.
Nice try by Rosario. He struck out 17 in 20 innings. He's walked just 5.
Popped up, trying to get to it. Oh, right off the end of the glove. Tell you, guys swung the bat well on Modesto. Dickerson carrying over from what he did a year ago in Asheville's hit 341.
Good bunt by G. That was a little far for the underhand toss, but it worked out. 3-4 if you score with us at home.
I came in for it. Reynolds went to get it, and you know, best thing you can do is let the Gold Glove guy have it.
2 outs. Davis at second. Neuenhuis 0 for 3 at the plate. On the inside corner for a strike. Story of this game from the Mets perspective, 2-out RBIs. 3 of 4 tonight with runners at scoring position and 2 outs. 1-1 on Kirk Neuenhuis. Corey and Laramie wants a 12-run inning. That tie the club record set a couple of years ago against the Cubs.
And why not?
Three balls and a strike. Folks from Delta, Colorado, made the drive over at Coors Field. Glad to have you. 3-2 on Neuenhuis. And he got it. You got to record the out at first. In the inning, Ike Davis, an infield single, sacrificed to second. The rally stalled there. 6-4, New York. Rockies maybe trailing by 2. It could be worse if not for a couple of gems defensively. Michael Kadire in the first inning. Pretty fair catch. And then with 2 men on, this would have scored 2. Good a catch by Dexter Fowler to rob Lucas Duda. That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And here's Kadire leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael, an RBI single last time up. Also caught looking, 1 for 2. G. George kind of doing his thing. Changing speeds.
That's what he does.
And hanging in there. 6-4. Last outing, he allowed 7 runs on 12 hits. 6 2/3 against the Giants. This ball to center field pretty deep, but Neuenhuis will get back and make the play. Willeen Rosario coming up. Well, these fans helped out the Games of Green campaign by planting trees this morning. We thank them for all their hard work. You can help too by purchasing a green pack. It's only $24 for 2 great seeds, with $5 going towards the Green Fund. Join us for the next Green game. It's tomorrow. Visit ColoradoRockies.com/green for more information. I like it. Up and in on Rosario. 0 for 2 in the game. There's G's changeup.
And a difficult thing for, I think, Willeen. He made this ball club by showing so much power, RBIs, and a high average in spring training. Got to catch an awful lot of innings. And then all of a sudden the season starts and you're not catching every 3rd, 4th, 5th day. And you're seeing guys now that I call them guys. I mean, the starting pitchers at the big league level on an everyday basis. A lot of times you get picked on because of you go out and really swing the bat well, and sometimes you're facing those AAA guys or AA guys, guys you're very comfortable against. You're not facing some of the other guys, but he's got big hits against the guys in spring training, and looking for it to carry over. It's just difficult to keep it going sometimes. 207 average now for Rosario after the strikeout.
A couple of called strikes that
a little high, weren't they?
Yeah, it looked like they were up and in. 2 outs, nobody on. Fowler at the plate against G. Next pitch, number 98.
6 groundouts, 5 flyouts to go along with 6 strikeouts. He did catch Tulowitzki trying to steal a base. Here's so much talked about the command of the fastball. If you're able to sink it and cut it and keep it down in the zone, and I always say this, you keep the ball on the ground somehow, you've got a pretty good opportunity to win a lot of baseball games.
Two.
Dexter chased one up in the eye. A little bit up into the strike zone here, so now you kind of have an opportunity for G. Do I want to run that back foot slider on him? It appears where they're headed. The fastball. Somebody got a souvenir.
On the ground to first. Ike Davis to the bag. And G has one of his easiest innings of the night. 6-4 New York as we go to the 7th. cars even stepped off the lot. We asked them to tell us about the cars they just bought. You said it, we heard it in the booth. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Paul's TV, the king of big screens since 1964 in the Furniture Row Shopping Center inside Sofa Mart. Second inning of work for Matt Reynolds, Ruben Tejada. And he has been a pain in the neck today for the Rockies. Tejada, a couple of hits to start rallies with 2 outs in the 3rd and the 5th. Daniel Murphy on deck. Tejada's got 2 hits. Murphy's got 2, and then David Wright is 3 for 3. And look at this. That's a base hit that Cargo's going to keep from going into the left center field gap. 7 hits the last 24 hours for Ruben Tejada.
Raised his average 60 points to 299. Josh Renicke's up throwing, and it's for David Wright in the on-deck circle.
And Murphy hits it in the air to shallow center. Dexter can't catch it in the air. And Murphy has his 3rd hit. As your old friend Yogi would say, it's deja vu all over again.
Well, let me tell you about some hot dogs, huh? How about that? The first 10,000 through versus the Dodgers, you're going to receive a $1 hot dog coupon sponsored by Hebrew National. So make sure you get out to that ball game on Tuesday. Yeah, Jim Tracy's going to make that switch. The right-handed hitting right coming up. Matt Reynolds, 2 blue pits, worked a good inning of their previous. The Rockies trail at 6-4.
Well, sooner than we can imagine, it'll be time for the kids to head off to college. Costs are going up seemingly every year. Start an account at College Invest today. You can do it for as little as $25. collegeinvest.org. So David Wright coming up. Every time he's come to the plate in this ball game, with the exception of when he led off in the 2nd inning with an infield hit, Tejada and Murphy have singled in front of him. That has occurred again here in the 7th. Josh Renicky, who has wiggled out of some jams that he has inherited, will try to keep this a 2-run game. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And David Wright at the plate. Lucas Duda's on deck. So hot at second, Murphy at first. Wright 3 for 3. Here's the infield hit. Troy made a nice play. Had no throw though. Keep it in the infield. There's the RBI double. And then he drove a 3-2 pitch the other way. Last 2 hits were on 3-2 deliveries from Moscoso. Moscoso went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits on 9 runs.
Oh, now 2 balls and a strike on Wright. This is where you have the confidence. 2-0, no strikes, 2-0 count, that you have confidence in that secondary stuff. You're in a fastball situation here, and you mentioned Drew Renick's done a nice job controlling traffic when he inherited it.
This is a double play ball.
Well, he's inherited 4 guys. None of them have scored. He's 1 out away from doing a nice job right here.
That was huge. First double play turned tonight by the Rockies. In fact, first double play turned in the series. They did have a line drive double play earlier tonight. 4-6-3. That's large. Now Lucas Duda coming up. You have Hairston on deck. Right on right. Duda tonight has driven in 4, George. 2-run home run and a single. See how the Rockies play this.
Really good fastball hitter.
And right now they're gonna, looks like they're gonna pitch to him. Tulowitzki shaded almost directly up the middle. You can see the alignment there. On the outside corner for a strike. 4 ribbies tie tonight for Duda. Ties a career high. Last June in Arlington, he drove in 4 in a ball game. Line drive to right, and it is going to die in the glove of Michael Kadire. So Renick does it again. He inherits a first and second, nobody out situation. Not a problem. Stretch time. Rockies down 2. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. 4th inning, the Rockies got a double from Todd Helton to drive in a run. And Michael Kadire punched a single through the right side. Tulowitzki would score. And then Moscoso with a 10-pitch at bat. His first big league hit, first big league RBI. 5th inning, David Wright hurt the Rockies again, and then Lucas Duda 2-run single up the middle. He's got 4 ribbies tonight. And a sharp shot right to short by Eric Young back live, pinch hitting for Renick. So EY, who has been the igniter for the Rockies here in April, lines out.
Foot either way, you're looking maybe for EY with his wheels, maybe a double. Can't hit it any harder than that, though. Gee, 105 pitches, 71 strikes in this ball game. He's been very, very efficient. Their bullpen is quiet. Well, excuse me, I see a couple of guys going a left-right combination. Burdick, the only left-hander down in their bullpen. Parnell, the hard-throwing right-hander.
Yeah, he basically's got 2 hitters, George. If there's any traffic when Cargo comes up, you'll see Burdick, I would assume.
I would think for the next couple of innings. Francisco's the closer. He's 4 for 4 in the season.
1-1 on Marco Scudero, 1 for 3. Single and scored a run in the first. 38,798 tonight at Coors Field. This is in the air to center field.
.108 pitches in the game for him now. Twice he's done that in his career. Once was against the Milwaukee Brewers back on September the 30th, 2010, at the last day of the season. And then last year against the New York Yankees on July 2nd. He threw 108 pitches. He's there now. A career high coming up with this next offering to Johnny Herrera.
He won 13 games last year as a rookie, which in Met annals has been surpassed by only 4 pitchers. Jerry Koosman in '68 won 19. Dwight Gooden in '84 won 17 and lost 9. Tom Seaver in '67 16 and 13. John Matlack in '72 15 and 10. And Gary Gentry in '69 also won 13. 0-2 outside 1 and 2. See if the Rockies can rally with 2 outs. My favorite baseball expressions, George. Bloop and a blast and you're tied.
There we go.
Down the line, it is a foul ball. Johnny Herrera robbed of a double his last time up on a nice play by Ike Davis. Got it past him. There was only one problem with it. Just foul.
Wasn't inside the white lines?
Yeah, it's got to be. That's one of the rules. 3-2.
When they put that in?
Recently.
A lot of pitches, a lot of different areas. You can see high and in, but predominantly trying to get him to take something down and away. They go there again.
Jeremy Guthrie scheduled to go today, placed on the disabled list, had a chain break on his bicycle he was riding yesterday and fell hard on his right shoulder. The good news is he played catch today, and he believes he'll make a start when he comes off the disabled list May 7th here at the big league level. So that is good news. You look at Guthrie. Rockies have had 7 straight retired by G. 6-4 they trail. New Mexico. So we want you to do this. We want you to tell you why you're a fan, and you can enter to win the ultimate fan experience. We will fly you and a close friend to Denver. We'll put you up, and we'll give you a couple of tickets to watch the ball game from the Root Sports Suite. You'll have breakfast with the on-air talent. George will show you the finer cuisine that he likes to dine on in the morning. You'll also get a Root Sports prize pack. Enter today by visiting RockyMountain.rootsports.com. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout from Coors Field. It's the 8th inning, and the Rockies are trailing 6-4. They've had a couple different leads in this ball game, 1-0 and also 4-3. The middle of the Mets lineup has done a lot of damage. Tejada 3 hits after a 4-hit ball game last night. Daniel Murphy 3 hits tonight. David Wright 3 hits. Lucas Duda 2 hits, 4 ribbies. Scott Hairston 0 for 3, couple punch outs, facing Esmil Rogers.
Well, last night, Josh Reddick and Esmil Rogers inning in a third, 7 runs given up. They're back at it here again tonight. That's one thing about Jim Tracy. You're going to get that opportunity to run right back out there again. Esmil's getting his chance. Reddick, what a great job. He's inherited 6 base runners now. None of them have scored.
Rockies have been out hit 12-7 in this ball game. For Terry Collins, you have to be thrilled with what Dylan G gave them. Not only length after a disastrous Friday night, but quality length. You give up 4 runs in 7 innings at 20th at Blake, you have pitched a good ball game.
Really good ball game.
Now ball to third. Johnny Herrera with sure hands. Accurate throw, 1 out. Ike Davis will come up, and let's visit again with Mark Stout. Mark?
Drew, George, earlier in the game you mentioned that Ike Davis could pitch back in the day. Last night at this time, when the Mets were down big, he was lobbying with Terry Collins to put him in for mop-up duty. Terry Collins was like, not going to happen. The guy they would have used was Mike Baxter. And then Collins told a few stories how when he was in the minor leagues in the Pirate system, that was something he did. He pitched 6 innings in the minor leagues, even though he was an infielder, and he got out of some innings. He said sometimes you just throw it, they hit it somewhere.
Oh, what a catch by Scudero. He leaped, and that thing sunk.
That had some down sink to it. Scudero's like, yeah, that was fun. I think I'm going to catch this thing in the web. The next thing you know, it's self-defense in the face. Ike Davis showing a little bit of maybe coming out of that mini slump, or that slump he's been in, I should say, with a base hit, a walk, a deep drive to center, and that line drive right at Scudero.
One and one. One and two. Scudero, like a vacuum, takes a hit from Tolley. And his 10-game hit streak may die here at Coors Field on a Saturday night. Rockies down to their final 6 outs offensively. Manageable deficit. They're down 6-4. message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special. Text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell, and that's what the Rockies need at least tonight, a 7th spot. They trail 6-4. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Tim Burdack is on.
Making his 10th appearance. He's only thrown 5 2/3 innings. The left-handed specialist, this is what he's here for, Carlos Gonzalez. He's thrown 5 2/3, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. The opposition hitting just 106 against him. Excuse me, 200 against him. Veteran guy, signed in 1993, has stuck around baseball for quite some time. You think all those years at the minor league level, the big league level, he's got a total 6 years and 150 days coming into this year at the major league level.
Cargo 1 for 2 and a walk. He has scored a run. Dylan G, great work. 7 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits, walked 2, struck out 7, 1 shy of his career high.
And you know what was really impressive?
This ball's ripped to right, but it is going to die in the glove of Lucas Duda.
What's really impressive about his outing, of those 7 hits, 5 given up in the 4th. So that's 6 other innings, just 2 hits that roll through there. 6 of those strikeouts in the other 6 innings. So he really managed the ball game well after giving up 3 runs in the 4th inning.
Now Burdack caught a break. Cargo couldn't have hit that much harder.
Right at him.
1 out. Tulowitzki at the plate. 2 for 3 and a ribby tonight. Here's good news. Rockies have outscored their opposition 23-8 in the 8th and 9th inning. Hopefully that trend continues this evening. Troy, a home run last night, his 3rd of the year. Ramon Hernandez leading the club with 4.
Let's not forget about the next Purple Monday. It's coming up. You wear purple, win prizes, including fan experiences, and the first 12,500 will receive Rockies reward coupons. So make sure you're here for Monday's ball game and be like that beautiful little girl there, have that purple shirt or jacket on.
2-1. Bouncing ball to short. Tejada, good footwork. 2 outs.
Impressive young player. I know he's gotten 6 hits in this series so far, but the defensive side of things has been pretty good. You're holding up 7 hits, but you do 7 like this. You don't put a thumb down. That's a New York 7 like that.
There you go.
This is
just
7.
count the digits that were up.
Well, you had them together. I thought you were making like a director's sign or something. Maybe his field goal, good.
Yeah, he has been impressive. 7 hits in the series. He fields his position well. He's 22, and
yes,
he's taken over for a guy that was one of the 2 or 3 best shortstops in the game. Tulowitzki, Reyes, until last year, Hanley Ramirez. Hanley's now a 3rd baseman. Of course, Hanley struggled last year swinging the bat. 1-1 on Todd. A walk, an RBI double. A fly ball to left field. Rockies, since that 4th inning when they produced 3 runs, have 1 hit. That was Tulowitzki in the 5th. Burdack has a 1-2-3-8th inning. You got Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, and help. We go to the 9th, 6-4, New York. to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club for $4.99 plus tax. And by the Ford F-Series. Built stronger, built better, built Ford tough. Well, the Mets have been ahead of the Rockies for several innings now. 6-4, ninth inning. Edgemer Escalona is aboard, and coming up after the ball game, as always, the Toyota post-game show. Jenny Kavnar has more on that. Jenny.
Hey, Drew, how's it going? You know, it was a case of the terrible twos for Guillermo Moscoso tonight, making his first Rockies start of the season. When he had 2 outs, that's when he gave up the majority of his runs. We'll break down the pitcher's Rockies debut tonight. And it was the right away. David Wright started the Mets offense tonight. We'll break down all the Mets offense. And, of course, we hope to have some more Rockies offensive highlights for you coming up in the 9th. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show, Drew.
All right, Jenny, thank you. Edgemer Escalona finishing his warm-up pitches, 9-1-2 for the Mets in the 9th inning. Mike Baxter will hit for Tim Burdack. And then Kirk Neuenhuis and Ruben Tejada.
Well, Escalona been roughed up a little bit that inning in 2/3, 16-20 earned run average. He pitched well at Colorado Springs. He's one of those guys that a year ago did a terrific job for the Rockies in September, eating up those 3-inning stints that you had to have when behind in games, giving your offense a chance to get back into it. Jim Tracy studying what he's going to try to attempt to do in the 9th inning as far as getting pinch hitters ready, going to work in the bullpen. First offering, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, low and away for ball 1.
One ball, one strike on Baxter. Long run for Kadire, a lot of wind, and he can't make the catch. And ending up at second base is Baxter on a bloop double. Scudero went out a few steps and then pointed at Kadire, and Michael was pretty deep in right field. He was in a full-on sprint.
Well, you don't want to be giving up any kind of double, so you are going to play a little bit deeper. But Baxter with some pretty good speed here. You see Scudero kind of broke and then held up on it. Not sure. Maybe he gets there, maybe he doesn't on a dead sprint. But Kadire is on a dead sprint and hits right off the end of the glove.
Terry Collins may play small ball here with the runner at second. Neuenhuis at the plate. Trying to get a little insurance.
And I think the only thing, and it's a good point what you're making, you know, go ahead and advance him over. But with the left on right, they might let him swing it a little bit and see if he can get a base hit. If not, at least pull the ball to the right side.
Pulled, and Help makes a great play. Neuenhuis made sure he got the barrel head out, George. As you said, that's the advantage you have when you're hitting from the left side. So he does his job. And at third base with one out is Mike Baxter. Ruben Tejada coming up. Let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Well, Tejada hasn't hit a home run, but he's hit a whole lot of singles in this series. 7 of them. 4 last night. 3 tonight. Rockies have to bring the infield in. In the bottom of the ninth, the Rockies will have Kadire, Rosario, Fowler. And they have 4 available on their bench. Giambi, Colvin, Hernandez, Nelson. EY was used earlier. Help comes up with it, holds the runner, goes to the bag. 2 fine plays by Todd Helton. If he can reach it, you're out.
Pretty much. That's kind of the way that things operate with Todd Helton over at first base. Get some leather, it's over. You're going to do just that. Inside out swing, able to catch it, check that runner, and then sprint to the bag and be able to make the play and get the out.
Well, another tough guy to handle, Daniel Murphy. He's got 3 knocks tonight. Would have had 4 if not for that shoestring diving catch made by Kadire in the first.
Exactly.
And this goes through Rosario. It's going to cost the Rockies a run.
Runner on third base, 2 outs work. You work so hard to get those 2 outs. That's still that runner at third base, so important. We'll take one more look at this pitch and see where it's thrown. Breaking ball down into the dirt, goes out to try to block the baseball. It looked as if it got by the glove and then shot all the way to the wall.
Pass ball. Two and 0. That's costly. Escalona needed 1 out to get out of that situation and keep it a 2-run game. Now it's a 3-run ball game. One of the things about catching, it's such a physically demanding position, and it's also a grind mentally. You lose your focus, George, for even one pitch, and it can be costly.
Can't do it, particularly in that situation.
Yeah,
runner at third.
Runner on third. Everything's got to be at heightened awareness. Cannot let a ball go by you that's elevated like that. Tulowitzki throws out Murphy. Rockies with work to do in the bottom of the ninth inning. They trail at 7-4. For Rockies All Access, Juan Nicasio back to the mound. Hear about Juan's path to the big leagues and his remarkable recovery from that near devastating moment in early August of last year when he was hit in the head by a line drive off the bat of Ian Desmond. It's Rockies All Access tonight after the Toyota postgame show. Rockies trailing 7-4. Frank Francisco, the new closer for the Mets, is aboard, and the Rockies will lead things off with Michael Kadire. During the commercial break, George, they changed that pass ball to a wild pitch. now it's an earned run against Edgemere Escalona. And Rosario will bat second in the inning. Francisco signed as a free agent in December. The Mets didn't make a lot of moves in the offseason. They didn't really look to sign Jose Reyes. They were in a very difficult financial situation. Fallout of the Bernie Madoff deal with the Wilpons. They paid close to $50 million. They're big money guys: Wright, Santana, Jason Bay. Santana will go tomorrow. Jason Bay's on the disabled list. Well, one of the moves they did make was to pick up Francisco.
They needed to get a closer, and that's what they went after. You know, when they traded Rodriguez to the Milwaukee Brewers, they had hoped Parnell might be the guy that would take that. So far, has not done that. Francisco, 6 runs in his last 3 in the 3rd innings pitched, yet he's 4 for 4 in save opportunities. His biggest year as a closer came in Texas in 09. He saved 25 ball games out of the 51 games he appeared in. Last year, working for Toronto in 54 games, saved 17. Bryce Harper, first major league hit, a double. The Nationals lead in the ball game 1-0 in the top of the 7th.
In LA. 2-strike count on Kadire.
The Nationals, for me, one of the biggest surprises in baseball. They've added some guys, but they're leading the National League East.
They've done it despite some injuries. Zimmerman's on the shelf. Brad Lidge is on the shelf.
Strasburg started that game against Billingsley.
Dyer, good job.
First 20,000 on Sunday. They're going to receive drawstring bags courtesy of the MLB Network. So get your tickets for tomorrow's ball game on your way out of the park today, or get online at ColoradoRockies.com. Pick up the phone on the way home through 1-800-388-ROCK. Buy tickets for Sunday's game and be one of those first 20,000.
Strike 3 on Kadire.
Not happy.
He's going to look at Lance Barrett and say that is not a strike. Look at the Ford strike zone, and Kadire has an argument.
He does have an argument. Jim Tracy's hot about it too. Lance Barrett maybe realizing that he did miss this pitch. Inside fastball, low in the strike zone. Kadire watches this ball. Sees head turn. He sees the flight of the baseball all the way into the glove. Knows that ball's low, but strike 3.
It was in too. That was probably the biggest point of contention. Rosario's 0 for 3, couple strikeouts in the ball game. Again, the Rockies have had 1 hit, 1 base runner since the 4th. 2-out single in the 5th by Tulowitzki. 1-1. We didn't mention this. Jorge De La Rosa, George, went 6 innings in an extended spring game, only 72 pitches, allowed 1 run on only 3 hits, struck out 9, walked 1.
And again, that's what
right around 92 miles an hour.
That was against the Oakland Athletics too. So a very nice job. Josh Alpins has started tonight in a Modesto game. He was only going to go 1 inning there in that ball game. One of the few times they'll do this. Next time he goes out, they'll try to work it out where he comes into situations to work out of innings, maybe possibly even face left-handed batters with men on base, was something they would be doing here. That ball's in the dirt. Tell you very quickly here with Mr. Altman. Worked an inning, 1 hit, 1 inning, no hits and a strikeout. 2 ground ball outs to go along with the strikeout.
2-2. Rockies been out hit tonight 13-7. They've allowed the Mets to produce 30 hits in 2 ball games.
They've swung the bat well. They just didn't get pitching yesterday. I mean, you got to remember the Mets were on top 6-2, and the Rockies threw 11 on them in the bottom of that after they scored 4. They've swung the bat well. Tonight, they've thrown it well and swung the bat well.
And an easy play at short. 2 outs. That'll bring up Fowler. Dex is 0 for 3. Starters are the pitchers of record. G on the plus side. And Guillermo Moscoso has the hook. Tomorrow, Jamie Moyer against Johan Santana.
Santana struggling out on the road so far this year. Pitched well at home.
Mets have been pleased for the most part with what they've seen. Really pleased. They just, with his injury history the last couple of years, they just don't know.
Fingers are crossed.
Yeah, how long it will last.
Well, he's made 4 starts and thrown 18 innings. So it tells you pitch counts maybe getting up a little bit. 0-2 with a 3 ERA.
He struck out 24 in 18 innings, allowed only 14 hits, so that's the good news.
Changeup's working.
Yeah, he doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but that changeup is good as there is in the game. Two outs, 1-1 on Dexter. Dexter drives one to deep right center field, and this one is gone. Fowler's 4th of the year, and it's 7-5.
I mentioned earlier 3 1/3, 6 runs given up, making 4 and 7 now for Francisco. One more to look at it, trying to go inside fastball out over the plate. Dexter just set on it. Higher leg kick, hands a little bit lower. Just drove that baseball. Colvin will get the pinch hit now. He's hitting .286 on the season as you look at another shot of the fly to the baseball for Dexter's home run.
Outside on Colvin. Giambi looming. To get one on. This ball is driven to center field deep. Neuenhuis on the move, lays out, can't get it. Colvin around second with those long strides. He'll have himself a triple. Rockies not done yet. Scudero gets called back, and here comes the big man.
Francisco, 90+ mile-an-hour fastball got turned around, and it was a good pitch on the ankles to away from him. Tells you about Colvin's power. Neuenhuis just laid it out in center field trying to end this ball game. Missed the play, and then it was off to the races for Tyler Colvin. Slid so they could do laundry. It was not necessary. He really got around a base pass in a hurry. Giambi 0 for 6 in his career versus Francisco. things. You miss on the inner half with Giambi, you've got a tie ball game, and he will make you throw strikes.
Here we go. Shift on. And Giambi took a big rip at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-1. 1-1 on Giambi.
That run in the ninth, huge right now.
Yep.
A giant run.
Two and one. Johnny Herrera's on deck. And if you're thinking, well, Jim Tracy may go to Ramon Hernandez, that sort of thing. You can't, in case you tie it up, lose two middle infielders. Scudero's gone. You'd lose Herrera.
Well, you force yourself into Nelson. Then you got guys playing.
Fouled off.
You would have to. I mean, we're getting out there quite a ways now. But I mean, that's where if you do pinch hit for Johnny, well, you got to put Rosario at third, or you put Nelson at third. I mean, there's a lot of things that has to happen there. I mean, more than likely Nelson goes to second, Rosario to third, Hernandez behind the plate.
Yeah, you'd have to play both catchers. One at third base. But Hernandez does have a bat, so that is a possibility. Got to tie it first. That's Jim Tracy's thought. This ball is drilled to center field. Nieuwenhuis on the move, makes the catch. And that is the ball game. The Rockies putting a scare into New York in the ninth inning with 2 outs. But they'll come up short. The Mets will prevail 7-5. G on his birthday gets the win. He's 2-2. In his first start in a Rockies uniform, Guillermo Moscoso takes the loss. He is 0-1. And Frank Francisco is 5 for 5 in save opportunities. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Visit jimmyjohns.com to find a location near you. Dylan G had some rough spots early. Rockies got 3 runs off him in the 4th inning. From that point on, he just shut Colorado down. He allowed 1 measly single in the 5th inning with 2 outs to Tulowitzki, and he would retire the last 7 he faced. So Dylan G, the winner tonight, leveling his record 2-2 on his birthday. Rockies fall 7-5. They're now 10-10 overall. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show is next.